Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Madison Lee, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial slash review, I guess, of all of my all-time favorite products. So kind of a full face, but using my favorite of each type of product. This was highly requested on my Instagram, and so I'm really excited to be doing it. I obviously love the way this look turned out because I'm using all of my OG favorite products. This video is a little bit more on the chatty side because I am talking a lot about the products that I chose. But I'm really excited to be filming this. I really like the way this look turned out. So if you like this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every Saturday and sometimes on Wednesdays. So if you're interested in seeing how I achieved this look and hearing all about my all-time favorite products, keep on watching. Okay, so diving right in, I have two favorite primers. The first one being the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer that I use all the time, and I would say that is tied with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer. Honestly, they're very, very similar. I like to use this one specifically like in my areas where I feel like my pores are a little more noticeable, and I like to use this one all over my face, so that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm really a fan of this one, the e.l.f. one specifically, because it's so affordable and I feel like works really well. So I'm just taking a little bit and putting it on my cheeks, down my nose. I feel like this is a primer too. I kind of feel like this with the Fenty one as well, where even if like I don't want to wear makeup that day, if I put on just a little bit of this, it makes my skin itself look better, which I'm really into. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the Fenty one, and I'm just going to do like 2 little drops and put it all over my face. And I try to always like go in an upward motion when I'm putting things on my face because it's supposed to help with like not giving you wrinkles. I don't know. That could be a myth. I just saw somebody else do it. So now here I am doing it. And sometimes I forget. Okay, as far as foundation goes, I have 2 favorites that I would say that I have with me, and then the other one I actually went to go for my Estee Lauder foundation that I ran out of, and I talked about in my product empties. So I think I'm going to make the jump and repurchase that because it's the first one that I went for when I thought, what is my all-time favorite foundation? However, these 2 also are in my top favorites. This is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation, and this is the NARS Sheer Glow foundation. I really like this one. It's a little more glowy, it's a little more natural, and this one's a little more full coverage and a little more matte. So I really like to use these together, so that's what I'm going to do today. So I like this one because it has like a big wand kind of a thing. So I'm just going to take this one on my more problematic skin areas, like where I have any breakouts, any discoloration. This is more of like a spot concealing foundation, but it also is really pretty by itself. It's like not too overwhelming. And then I'm going to take the NARS Sheer Glow foundation and just put that all over the rest of my face. And you can see I'm kind of mixing the 2 on my face. Like I don't really care. It's just however it happens is fine. So I know in most of my tutorials that I've been doing so far, I have been using a lot of like glowy face products to make my skin look a little more dewy and glowy. However, whenever I'm allowed outside again, that's when I will go back to using a lot of more mattifying products. Not because my skin is oily, but because I get really sweaty and I live in Florida. And so I feel like the best way to combat that is to use mattifying products on my skin. However, if I'm just inside, or if I was going just like to dinner and I knew I wasn't going to be outside, I do tend to prefer a little bit more, I wouldn't say too glowy, but a little more just natural finish products. Like this combination that I'm wearing right now is something that I could probably wear and get away with outside. However, when you live in a place like Florida, you have to take the heat into consideration because it's there, trust me. As far as concealers go, I feel like I haven't been using the e.l.f. one long enough to declare it my all-time favorite yet. However, I would like to mention it because it has been the one that I've been reaching for almost consistently, probably the past 2 months. It's a great concealer, really full coverage. I really like it. However, I would say if I had to pick one concealer for the rest of forever, I would actually pick the NARS Soft Matte Concealer. I feel like this is the most beautiful, natural, I love this concealer. So I'm gonna use this one on my under eyes so you can see how just like pretty it is, and then I'll use the e.l.f. one everywhere else. So I just take it with a little brush. This is a BH Cosmetics number, it's either number 6 or an 8. The like number is kind of faded, so I can't really tell. But I just put a little bit under my eyes. I think I like this concealer because it's the most natural looking without being, like, it's natural but it's not. It's very full coverage, but it does almost just give like a your skin actually looks this good kind of a vibe, which is something I'm personally really into. And I also normally wear my under eye concealers like really bright. However, this one I like it in the like it's not as bright. Then I'm gonna go into the e.l.f. one and just do my chin. This one's really bright. I might have to put like just a little dot here and here just so I can even out how bright it is elsewhere. Yeah, I'll just do that. And a little on my lip. And a lot of people put concealer down the center of their nose. That's not really a look for me personally. I don't know. I like used to do that, and looking back in like old pictures whenever I used to wear my makeup like that, I just feel like it made my nose look huge, I guess. I don't know. I probably wasn't doing it right. It was like back in college. I also was a solid 85 to 90 pounds heavier, so I hated my face anyway because it was this big. But just like I'll take a little bit and put it on the tip of my nose, but just in general I don't prefer to put concealer down the center of my nose. I also think it has to do with the fact that it takes away from like the naturalness of my face, if that makes sense. Like my nose is like mildly freckly, and I like when my freckles peek through a little bit because it makes me feel like I'm not wearing like too much makeup. So when I put concealer on my nose, it kind of covers those up and it makes my face look a little more like plasticky almost. I'm not into that look. For my under eye concealer, I'm going to use a brush just because with this NARS concealer, I do prefer to use a brush. And this is the Morphe G9 that I always use. My favorite brush ever for concealer, for everything. But you can tell like just how pretty that finish is. Like it's so pretty. I actually really like it with the one little dot of the e.l.f. concealer. I might start doing that just in general. But I just kind of press it into my under eye, but it doesn't make my under eye look cakey. That's the main thing. It looks very natural. Like this is the first time I've looked in my viewfinder after doing concealer and I've been like, oh man, it looks good in person, but not on the viewfinder. I feel like it looks good both. For cream bronzer, I'm going in with, you guessed it, the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel. I know it's kind of expensive, I know it's really bougie, but it's the best cream bronzer I own. It's so pretty, it's just really warm and natural. I cannot confirm or deny if they changed the formulation. I heard that they did, but then I heard that they didn't. So I don't know what to believe. I'm just gonna keep using this one. But it's lasted me this long. It still works great. Doesn't look like it's in trouble. I like it. I'm gonna keep using it until it dies. Okay, so for this look today, I don't actually want to use a liquid blush. I know, shocking, but I'm gonna tell you my favorite liquid blush anyway, and that is the NARS, what is this called? Just liquid blush in the shade Torrid. It's just a really natural, pretty, peachy shade. So beautiful. I do love this a lot, and I use it all the time. If you want something on a little more of an affordable side, I would recommend the Flower Beauty Blush Balm in the shade Nectar. It's kind of, they're very similar. I think this one's a little bit more orange and this one's a little bit more pink, but still both very beautiful, and I use both of them all the time. Okay, for setting powder, surprisingly, I was really between my RCMA powder and this powder that I'm about to show you, and I think at the end of the day I have to pick this one, and that is the Too Faced Perfect Peach setting powder. I don't know why, I just like this one just a little bit more than the RCMA powder. I think it's because it does have a slightly pink like tint to it, and I feel like that makes my under eyes look a little bit brighter. But I'm just going to use this on a fluffy brush and lightly just tap under my eye and on my eyelid. I will say though, if I'm like really going in with powder, like baking and like all that stuff, I will use the RCMA powder because it is like a stark white. But if like just I'm setting little areas of my face like this, I prefer to use this one. I also have really been into using like a fluffy brush to put on my setting powder instead of like using my beauty blender or like a more dense brush. I just feel like it puts the product on a little more naturally and a little bit less cakey, which helps with creasing. So that's been the jam for me recently. And this is a Morphe M438. I'm pretty sure this is a highlight brush, but there are no rules. For bronzer, I have 3 favorites. I love all 3 of them for different things. The first one I'm going to mention is the Becca Sunlit Bronzer in the shade Bronze Bondi. I like this one for a more like glowy, like shimmery, natural, like all over bronze. As you can see, it has like a little bit of a sheen to it. I also have like majorly hit pan. But this bronzer is totally beautiful. I really love it. It's in my top 3. On a similar note, I also love the Milani Baked Bronzer in the shade Soleil. Kind of a similar vibe. It's very, like, it's got like a little bit of a shimmer to it, but this one's not too shimmery. I love this one as well. However, I think the winner overall is going to have to be the Marc Jacobs bronzer in the shade Tantric. I've also majorly hit pan on this one. But this is just a really pretty warm bronzer, so that's what I'm going to be using today with a big Morphe M527 brush. And I'm just going to lightly kind of set the areas where we cream bronzed. And I think the reason I've kind of gotten into the idea of like always doing a cream bronzer over or underneath the powder bronzer is because I've noticed that whenever I have a cream base, I don't use near as much bronzer and my face looks a lot less powdery. And so that's what I've been doing and I will continue to do because I like how it looks. Okay, for blush, I also have 2 favorites, a drugstore and like a not drugstore. The drugstore one is, of course, Milani Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso. So beautiful, so natural, so peachy, just 10 out of 10, a great blush. And then the one that I have for the higher end is the Becca Mineral Blush in the shade Songbird. It's broken. But it's just a really pretty natural peachy shade. This is what I'm going to use today on my Morphe E4 brush. And this is just kind of like a go-to everyday, like kissed by the sun type of a blush. It's so pretty. And then also a little bit on my nose. Highlight is hard for me to pick a favorite because I have so many that I like. However, I think if I did have to pick a favorite, it would be I have 3 favorites. My first one I will say is mostly for my body. It's of course the Dior Air Luminizer in the shade 001, my favorite body bronzer ever. It's so beautiful. I can wear it when I'm super tan or super pale. It's just perfect. It is also pretty on the face, but I really prefer this much more for my body. And then the 2 bronzers that I use actually on my face that I would say would be, first of all, the Laura Geller Baked Gelato Swirl Illuminator in the shade Gilded Honey. It's just a really pretty like bronzy highlighter, like so gorgeous. And on a similar note, they look almost identical honestly, but I love both of them. I couldn't pick. Would be the Bobbi Brown highlighting powder in the shade Bronze Glow. This is kind of an older, used to be really big on YouTube way back in the day when I first started watching, but I still reach for it like every week. But as you can see, they're very similar. I think this one is a little more true gold and this one's a little more champagne-y, but I love both of them. I think today I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown one. And I'm just going to use that to highlight my cheekbones. Actually, you know what? I'll use both. I'll use this one for my cheeks because it's, I mean, wow, so pretty. And I also like this one because it doesn't like make a stripe on your face. Like as you can see right now, I'm looking at my viewfinder. You like almost can't tell that I even have it, but then when I turn in the sun, it's like a natural, like glowy situation. But it doesn't look like a stripe of highlighter on my face. I'm not into that look at all. And then I'll use a little bit of the Laura Geller one on my nose, right above my eyebrows. And as you can see, they are pretty similar. I'm going to use a little bit just to top it off. I do think the Laura Geller one is a little more intense, which sometimes I like that, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the day. Okay, moving on to eyebrows, I have 3 products I want to mention. I have a pencil that I want to mention, which is, of course, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer in the shade Taupe. So beautiful, perfect, use it every day, love it. My favorite brow gel, I either would have to tie between the Benefit Gimme Brow, which I'm currently out of, or the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade Gel. I don't know exactly the name of this, it's all rubbed off, but this one. And then I would say my favorite like actual pomade to use on my brows would be the Benefit Ka-Brow in the shade 3. This is really pretty for when you want like full, like defined, like what's what I'm looking for? Snatched brows. I don't know what I'm looking for, but that's the one I prefer to use. So today I'm going to be using kind of a mixture of all three just to give you a little idea of what they're all like. So I'm going to start by brushing up my eyebrows with a spoolie. My brows are still super ratchet. I need to get an eyebrow wax so bad, but the world is still closed, so I guess we'll just make do. So I'm going to start with the Benefit Ka-Brow, and I'm just going to use this to lightly kind of like define where the end of my eyebrow is. I don't really want my eyebrows to be too defined and like cut today. It's just not really the look I'm going for. It's not the look that I've been going for because my eyebrows are so crazy. Especially this one. I feel like this eyebrow is like really well behaved and this one just like doesn't know what it's doing. So this is my problem brow, but it's fine. We're working on it. Actually, that's a lie. We're not working on it at all, even a little. I think once this is all over, I'm gonna be the most excited to go get my eyebrows done. Just because I normally do keep them pretty well groomed. I normally do them myself, but I normally will like get them waxed like every couple months and then I'll maintain them for as long as I can and then I lose it and then we just start the cycle all over again. So it's actually kind of sad. Now I'm going to take the brow definer and just kind of fill in any other areas. It's kind of sad because I had a brow and wax appointment for my brow and my lip. And the day before it was, I kind of just got this feeling of like, you know what, I feel like I should just call and see if they have anything today. I feel like it's going to, the waxing place is going to close. And so as I go to call them, I receive a text from them that's like, your appointment with so-and-so has been canceled due to COVID-19. Like, we will let you know when we reopen. And I was like, dang, we're so close. So I called them to see if they had anything that day, and they said no, that they didn't. And so that's the story of why my eyebrows look so terrible. But it's fine. I mean, there are much bigger things to worry about. I'm thankful I'm healthy and my family's healthy, but a girl would love to get her eyebrows cleaned up. Then I'm just gonna set that with the Dip Brow gel. Okay, I do have to throw an honorable mention in there because I need it. And that would be the Benefit Precisely My Brow. And that's because this eyebrow right here, as you can see, like the front part is not, it doesn't go, I don't know how to phrase it. Like this eyebrow is pretty full from the beginning to the end. This one, like this little area right here is like non-existent. So I need something small, like this, to go in and fill it in. And for that, I use the Benefit Precisely My Brow, and it just helps a little bit. So this is an honorable mention. I do really like this brow brush too, or brow pencil, whatever. Okay, so for eyeshadows, I have like 4 palettes I want to talk about, and then 4 like other little things I want to talk about, just because I feel like with eyeshadow, I mix and match so much. I very rarely stick to like one palette unless I'm filming a tutorial. So it's like pretty hard for me to say like a definitive favorite. However, I will say if you are just looking for like a big palette with tons of colors, the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette is absolutely beautiful. Has almost everything you could ever need. The only thing is I will say I don't like to travel with this because it is so big. But it is beautiful. I do use it quite a good bit. However, I prefer smaller palettes because I travel a lot and so I like to be able to bring them. So my 4, I would say go-to palettes. I have, let's start with an OG. The Modern Renaissance by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is like an OG palette. It's got a lot of warm tones, lots of reds, lots of oranges, right up my alley. Moving on, I would say the next one I use a good bit would be the Tartelette Toasted palette. Same kind of color story, lots of warms, lots of oranges, lots of reds. That's kind of where I live. I like a warm, smoky eye. And then these 2 are like little guys that I do reach for a good bit. The first one is the Sassy Siennas by Dose of Colors. I mean, it's honestly kind of funny because same situation, oranges and reds and warm browns. It's just what I like. And then this is the Natasha Denona Holiday No. 2 palette. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong. Natasha Denona eyeshadows are stupid expensive, and I've never had like a big palette of hers because I just can't spend $200 on an eyeshadow palette. However, I want to say this one was like $42, maybe $48, which is still really stupid pricey, but I really wanted to have a Natasha Denona product in my collection and I wanted to use it, and I do use it a good bit. And I like this one because it has this really pretty matte red, this really pretty blue, the gold, the champagne, I love all of these colors and I do use them a lot. However, you can't use this by itself, so that's kind of why I included it with this one, is because this one's all mattes, so I'll normally use this one to kind of do all of the matte work, and then I'll come in with this guy for the shimmers. And then the other things I want to mention are the Stila, the Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadows. I have a bunch of them. I have way more than these. These are just my 4 that I reach for the most often. This one is called Starlight, and this one actually is not, this is a shimmer and glow. This on my hand. I'm a terrible swatcher, I apologize. But you can't even tell how pretty this is. It's really pretty, I promise. I don't know why I can't swatch it. The next one that I use a lot is Diamond Dust. How do you do this? Okay, there we go. So you can see it's just like literal silver diamond flecks on your eyes. The next one is Rose Gold Retro. See, this one I'm also almost out of. There you go. So you can see it's really pretty, really reflective. And then the last one that I have is called Kitten Karma, and this one's kind of similar to the Rose Gold one. It's just a little bit less red, I would say. It's more champagne-y. This one right here. It's easy to just like cut your crease with it, and then you have like a shimmery cut crease moment for my eye look. I think I want to do like a red on top and then like a blue lower situation. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so getting started, I'm going to go in with the Sassy Siennas palette, and I'm going to use this third little shade right here. Do they have names? Yes, it's called Foxy. And I'm just going to start working that all on the outer crease of my eye. What brush am I using? This is the Morphe M533 brush. I filmed a like favorite brushes video, and I forgot to turn my microphone on, so it was basically worth nothing. But I'm thinking about refilming it. I just can't tell if that's something you guys would be interested in, to like hear about all my favorite makeup brushes. I use mostly Morphe brushes and then also BH Cosmetics brushes, just because I feel like with brushes I like to use ones that are more affordable but still work well. I'm not trying to spend like over $200 on a brush kit. Now I'm going to go in with the Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to use this shade Red Ochre right here just to kind of deepen up this outer crease. I can't decide if for my lid I either want to use this really dark red or I want to use this really bright gold. I think what I'm going to do is do the red all over and then pop the gold on the center. So with the Natasha Denona shadows, I will say they do work best just with your finger. So I'm just taking my finger on that red shimmery shadow. I will say, I hate to admit it, but after having just this little Natasha Denona palette, I totally get why they're so expensive. These shadows are absolutely beautiful. So pigmented, like so rich. Oh, I do love them. I get why they're expensive. I can't do it yet. Okay, now that I have that on, I am going to go back in with the first M533 brush, and I'm going to take this shade and this shade. Oops, you can't even see, I'm so sorry. The shade Warmth and the shade Cozy from the Tartelette Toasted palette, just to kind of blend in. I also just really want to use all of my palettes in one look that I've mentioned and show you that they all the same finger and go into this gold shade. This one's apparently called Nude. I don't think it's very nude, but whatever. And I'm just gonna take it on my finger and I'm lightly gonna press it on the center of the lid over top. Alright, and then for my lower lash line, I wanna do blue because why not? I'm gonna take this as like a little bit fluffier of a brush, and I'm gonna go in with these like 3 very natural shades right here. I do hate they don't have the names on it, not even on the back. It like comes with a sheet to like keep the, I'm like, bye, that's gone. So that is kind of annoying. I think on the newer one they do have the names on it, which is a much smarter move because I don't even know what colors these are. Anyway, I'm done rambling. I'm just gonna use that to like smoke out my lower lash line. Okay, and then from there I'm going to take that BH Cosmetics brush and I'm going to go in with the Natasha Denona palette and the blue in here, and I'm just going to ever so lightly put it on my lower lash line. I'm being a little bit careful since it's a shimmer. I don't normally love a shimmer in my under eye, but I really like this blue color. Okay, and then as far as favorite eyeliners go, I have 3 brands I want to talk about. The least expensive of those would be the Colourpop Cream Gel Liners. This is in the shade Punch. It's like a yellow liner. It's so pretty. I have these in a ton of different colors. I have the blue one, white one, black one. I have all of them. I do really like these. They are great. The next one I want to talk about is this one is specifically for your waterline. This is the Urban Decay Waterline Eye Pencil in the shade Mood. And I'm going to use that to tightline my eye right now. And that's really all I use this for, but it is very helpful. And the last eyeliner I want to talk about is the Marc Jacobs Highliner Matte Gel Eye Crayon. This is in the shade Whirlpool. This is what I'm going to use today, if I have any of it left. Oh, I do. And these eyeliners are so pigmented. I'm going to go on so well. I have the black one, I have this one. And if money wasn't an object, this would be the only eyeliner I bought because it would be the only one that I would want to use, but your girl's blowing on a budget, so I'm out here flexing with the Colourpop ones, which are honestly not too much of a step down from that. They work very, very well. And I also don't really have an all-time favorite mascara, but I think if I did, it would be this one. This is the NYX Worth the Hype. It works great. It's a drugstore product. I've been using the Lancome Monsieur Big mascara. I do really like that one. However, I can't decide if I think it's like a all-time favorite yet. Okay, so for false lashes, I kind of have 3 tiers of false lashes, and I have a favorite in each one. The first would be the most dramatic, the most dense, the most wispy, the most like very obviously fake lashes but still so beautiful, and I would have to say those would be the Lily lashes in the style Miami. I've only worn these a few times because they are so intense, but oh my gosh, they are beautiful and I love them. The next step down would be something that's still very dramatic, still very long, still very wispy, but can be worn with like a very minimal makeup face. Like if you wore no makeup and then throw on the Miami lashes, you would look psychotic. But these ones are the Cocoa lashes in the style Queen Bee, and these are still really long and wispy, but you can get away with like a very light face and just pop those on and call it a day. And then the last one is going to be my most natural, and those are the Ardell Wispies. These were like my go-to lashes when I was like in high school and I like wanted to put on false lashes, and now I just kind of use them as like a very simple everyday like go-to easy lash to just pop on. So I think for this look I'm going to use well, I've used these on my channel before. Maybe I should just go for it. I'm just gonna go for it and use the Miami lashes. Why not? Let's do it. Okay, so you can see I have those on. They're very pretty. For lips, I have 2 lip liners, a bullet lipstick, and 2 different liquid lipsticks I want to talk about. Well, technically 3. One's just in my purse in my room and I don't want to go get it. However, my 2 favorite lip liners, I'm sure you can guess, the Kylie lip liner in the shade Kylie, and the Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Pillow Talk. I know I have not owned this one long enough to consider it a favorite, but I don't care. I'm doing it. This is my new favorite lip liner. It's beautiful. As far as lipsticks go, my favorite just everyday nude lipstick is the Becca lipstick in the shade Dusk. As you can see, I'm already like almost out of it, but it's just a beautiful nude, like just very pretty, simple. This right here. Yeah, so gorgeous. My favorite nude liquid lipstick is the Ultra Satin Lip. This is a Kathleen Lights Colourpop collab in the shade Dreamy. I don't even know if this is available anymore, to be honest. But it's very similar to the shade I just showed you from Becca. It's just a little more pink. It's this one right here, and it's really, really pretty, especially with like a more brown liner like the Kylie liner. It's stunning. But then my favorite two like bright colors, the first one I don't have with me, but it is American Doll by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's in my purse. It is the most perfect blue toned red. Like, it is stunning. And then the other one is the Dose of Colors. This is from the Katie x Desi collab. This is the shade Hot Fire. I don't think this one is available either, but this is just like a very bright orangey red. Oh my gosh, it is so pretty. I'm gonna use the Kylie lip liner. I will say, honestly, the formula of the Kylie lip liners is my favorite formula. My all-time favorite gloss is the Bare Minerals gloss in the shade Sugar, and it is beautiful. So today I put on the Kylie lip liner, and then I'm just gonna put this over the top. And then as far as setting spray goes, I would say I'm just like an OG MAC Fix Plus type of a gal. However, whenever I'm going for a more matte look, the Colourpop All-Star Mattifying Setting Spray is the bomb. Like, if you want your face to be like matte and like stuck, this is the one. And there you have it. This is the finished look. I really like the way that it turned out. This is like a very standard go-to look for me, like a bronzy eye look with like a little tiny pop of color, nude lip, like just normal natural skin. Normal like bronzy skin, I should say. But yeah, I really like how this turned out, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you'll try out some of my most favorite products. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you pick any up, and also let me know what products I should try, because I'm always down to try new things. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please continue to stay safe. Please continue to be aware of all this craziness that's going on. I don't want to talk about it so much because that's like not fun. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!